My name is Aleena. I am 23 years old, and this is my story. I live a simple life. I am married to my husband, Daniel. We do not have children yet, but we talk about it sometimes. We live in a small apartment near the city. It is not big, but it feels warm. Daniel works long hours, and I take care of the house and do small online work from home. Every morning starts the same way. Daniel wakes up early. I make tea. We sit quietly for a few minutes before the day begins. Some days we talk more, some days we don't. Life is not perfect, but it feels safe. I always believed my life was steady. I never thought one moment could shake everything inside me. One week in winter, I started feeling unwell. At first, it was just a headache. Then came fever, body pain, and a heavy feeling in my chest. I tried to ignore it. I told myself it would pass. But after 3 days, my breathing became difficult, and my body felt weak. Daniel became worried. He touched my forehead and said I was burning with fever. He insisted we go to the hospital. I didn't want to, but my body had no strength to argue. At the hospital, the air smelled clean and cold. Nurses moved fast. People sat quietly, holding reports and fear in their eyes. I felt small and tired. After some tests, the nurse told me I needed to be admitted. I had a serious chest infection. I felt scared, but Daniel held my hand and said everything would be okay. They gave me a bed near the window. The light outside was pale. I tried to rest, but my thoughts were loud. Then the door opened. A doctor walked in. His name was Dr. Adrian Lewis. He was tall, calm, and confident. He looked to be in his early 30s. He wore a white coat and glasses. His voice was deep but gentle. When he spoke, people listened. He introduced himself and explained my condition slowly. He did not rush. He looked at my reports carefully, then at me, as if I mattered. "Don't worry, Aleena," he said. "You will be fine. You just need rest and proper treatment." Something about his voice made me feel calm. For the first time since I arrived, my heart slowed down. Over the next few days, Dr. Adrian came to check on me regularly. He always spoke kindly. He asked how I was feeling. He explained each medicine in simple words. Daniel visited me every evening after work. He brought fruit and sat beside me. He looked tired, but he tried to smile. I was grateful for him. Still, I noticed something strange inside me. I started waiting for the sound of footsteps in the hallway. I started hoping it was Dr. Adrian. When he came, my heart beat faster. When he left, the room felt empty again. I didn't understand why. I was married. I loved my husband. So why was my heart reacting like this? I told myself it was nothing. He was just a kind doctor. I was weak and sick. My emotions were confused, but the feeling didn't go away. One afternoon, Daniel could not come because of work. I was alone in my room. The rain outside tapped softly on the window. Dr. Adrian came in and noticed I was quiet. "Are you feeling low today?" he asked. I nodded. He pulled a chair and sat for a moment. He didn't rush. He just listened as I spoke about pain, tiredness, and fear. "You are stronger than you think," he said softly. I felt guilty. I turned away from my thoughts and tried to sleep. Days passed. I learned that Dr. Adrian was not married. He lived alone. He worked long hours and cared deeply about his patients. Nurses respected him. Patients trusted him. I admired him. And slowly, admiration turned into something dangerous. On my 7th day, I was feeling better. I could sit up. I could breathe more easily. Dr. Adrian smiled and said I was improving well. "You'll go home soon," he said. Instead of feeling happy, my heart felt heavy. I didn't want to admit it, but I didn't want to leave. That scared me. One evening, Daniel sat beside my bed, holding my hand. He talked about home, about cooking my favorite food when I returned. I smiled, but my heart felt divided. That night, I cried quietly. I hated myself for feeling this way. The next morning, Dr. Adrian came earlier than usual. He checked my reports and said I could be discharged in 2 days. Before leaving, he paused. "Aleena," he said, "take care of yourself. Health is precious." I looked at him and nodded. I wanted to say something, but I didn't know what. That evening, something happened that changed everything. Daniel had gone home to rest. I was alone again. Dr. Adrian came in for a final check. After finishing, he stood near the door. "Sometimes," he said quietly, "people confuse comfort with love." My heart jumped. "I see it often in hospitals," he continued. "Illness makes emotions stronger." He looked at me, not as a doctor, but as a human being. I felt exposed. I didn't reply. He nodded slowly and left the room. That night, I couldn't sleep at all. His words echoed in my mind. Was he talking about me or about himself? 2 days later, I returned home. Daniel hugged me tightly. The house felt familiar and safe. Everything was the same, but I was not. I tried to return to normal life, but my mind kept going back to the hospital, to Dr. Adrian's calm voice, to his eyes. 1 week passed, then 2. I told myself to forget. But one evening, my chest felt heavy again. Panic rose inside me. I checked my old hospital papers, and without thinking too much, I made a decision. A wrong one. I picked up my phone and searched for the hospital number. I sat on the sofa, holding my phone in my hands. My heart was beating fast. I knew I should not call the hospital. I knew this feeling was wrong, but my mind was louder than my reason. I told myself I only needed medical advice. Nothing more. After a long pause, I called the hospital desk and asked to speak with Dr. Adrian Lewis. The nurse said he was busy, but could return my call later. When the phone rang an hour later, my hands shook. "Hello," I said softly. "This is Dr. Adrian," the voice said. Hearing his voice again made my chest feel tight. I told him I was feeling unwell again. I said I felt short of breath and anxious. He listened carefully and asked questions like a professional. He told me it could be stress and advised rest. Then there was silence. "Aleena," he said slowly, "if this gets worse, come to the hospital. But please, don't let fear control you." I thanked him and ended the call. That night, I couldn't sleep. Daniel was beside me, breathing softly. I looked at his face in the dark. He looked tired. He trusted me. That thought made my chest hurt more than any illness. The next few days were heavy. I felt restless. I tried to clean the house, cook food, distract my mind, but the thoughts returned again and again. One afternoon, Daniel told me he had to travel for work for 2 days. He kissed my forehead and said he would call me every night. As soon as the door closed, the house felt too quiet. That evening, I felt dizzy and scared. My breathing became fast. I panicked. Instead of calling my husband, I called Dr. Adrian. He told me to come to the hospital immediately. When I arrived, the same smell, the same lights, the same hallway surrounded me. It felt unreal, like stepping back into a memory. Dr. Adrian examined me. My vitals were normal. My lungs were clear. "You're not sick," he said gently. "You're anxious." I felt ashamed. We sat in his office for a moment. The room was quiet. "Aleena," he said firmly, "I need to be honest with you." I looked at him. "What you're feeling is not love," he continued. "It's emotional confusion. Hospitals create false closeness. I cannot be part of this." His words were calm, but strong. "I respect you," he said, "and because of that, this must stop." My eyes filled with tears. I nodded but couldn't speak. "You should go home," he said. "Be with your husband. Protect your life." I left the hospital feeling empty and weak. That night, guilt crushed me. I sat on the floor and cried. When Daniel returned the next day, he noticed something was wrong. I tried to smile, but it broke. I told him everything. Not about love, but about weakness, about confusion, about almost losing myself. He listened quietly. He did not shout. He did not interrupt. When I finished, he sat beside me. "Aleena," he said, "thank you for telling me the truth." I cried harder. "I was scared," I said. "I didn't understand my feelings." He held my hand. "We all feel weak sometimes," he said. "What matters is what we choose next." We decided to heal together. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, the fog in my mind cleared. But one night, something strange happened. I had a dream. In the dream, I stood in an empty house. The walls were cold. No photos, no voices. I walked from room to room calling Daniel's name. No answer. I went outside. People walked past me like I didn't exist. I saw Dr. Adrian standing far away. I ran toward him, but he disappeared. Then I felt pain in my chest. I collapsed. I woke up screaming. Daniel held me tightly. I was shaking. That dream felt too real. From that day, I changed. I stopped looking back. I focused on my marriage, on small moments, on gratitude. Months later, I became pregnant. When I told Daniel, he cried. our home filled with joy again. One evening, while organizing old papers, I found my hospital discharge file. I stared at the name Dr. Adrian Lewis one last time. Then I closed the file and let it go. Sometimes life tests us not to break us, but to teach us. What I felt was not love. Love is staying. Love is choosing right, even when it's hard. I was lucky. I woke up before it was too late.